Hello guys, and welcome to my first video in the series of me playing Hero League in Heroes of the Storm. I'm going to play some Zeratul in this game, and I'm just going to try to explain to you my thought process of what I like to do and how I play specifically on Zeratul in this video. I am currently, I think, rank 11. I was on a little bit of a losing streak from rank 8. And I'm trying to get to rank 1. Rank 8 is currently my highest, but I'm pretty sure I can get higher. So let's get this video underway. Just kind of explain to the best I can what I like to do here as Zeratul. What you're going to see here is I get Seasoned Marksman in as my first talent. I pretty much like to do that because I'll look at the enemy team, and if they have a lot of range, which they only have 2 in this particular match, I'll usually go increased cleave radius. But in this particular game, there was only there was 3 melee, so I figured a Seasoned Marksman might be good. And since this is a lot of like cat and mouse gameplay, it's hard for me to do certain things, so I go for a gank early here, and Kelthos does a really good job at just barely getting that last ability off, but it worked. So we're gonna. I'm sorry for the stuttering. I don't have the best computer. It was built like almost 5 years ago now, so my video card's a little old. That's why I put the settings on low. It would be a little more stuttery. So I come to bot lane here to try and see if I can get a gank. But I noticed that Brightwing's by himself, and I suggest that Nazebo come down, but I don't know if he actually does. I don't remember. Because he shouldn't be by himself against the Siege and the healer. But Kelthos gets picked off mid because he overextends a little bit too much, considering he's by himself and they have a Nubarak who can initiate very well against him. So I just try to sit in mid a little bit and get some experience, soak for my team. What you want to do, I feel, as Zeratul is gank as much as you possibly can early game, because that lead is going to really make the difference later on in the game when you know, things might be a little close. And I think in this particular game, the first dragon doesn't even get captured for about 12 minutes or so, and we're about level 16 at the time, both teams. So I feel my early game ganking was helpful to kind of keep us in there, even though I feel like we were winning and we were ahead for a lot of the time. We kind of fall behind because we don't exactly put the amount of pressure that we need on the map. So, you know, Nazebo died against Tychus, and whoever else is top right now, Jaina, was top. So I just kind of sit mid and wait for somebody to show up, and I just kind of throw a little bit of damage on there. I save my W, knowing that I might have to go back in to stop him again, but one of my team members captured the bottom one, so I didn't have to actually throw the W, but I did for safe measure. My next skill, I personally like to get Focus Strike. Again, this is preference. It's based on what I'm up against, and this team has a lot of squishies between Gazlo, Tychus, and Jaina, and others fairly squishy. I decided to go for Focus Strike as opposed to Vorpal Blades, which would give me an extra teleport. If I was facing a lot of ranged double mages and Vala, and a ranged support like Brightwing, and maybe even a ranged Siege, I might go for the Vorpal Blades so that I could get that extra teleport to keep the initiation and then save my E for when I have to escape from the fight. So they're doing a little bit of a struggle down here. I realize that they're missing mid and that they're probably going to get ganked, so I ping them back, and I'm on my way top to help Tyrael get Tychus off this node. I wait a little bit just to kind of bait Tychus in and make sure that he really commits to the fight, thinking he's going to win. I don't want to do it too early when his health bar is too high and then he might escape. So I try to wait it out a little bit, let him think that he's going to win the fight, and then kind of just go in for the gank. Not too concerned with mid now. Nobody's there on their team, so I'm not going to try and focus too much of my attention there until I feel it's necessary. I will come and clear the waves for my seasoned marksman and for my for soaking the team experience. And I try to get an Uberak here, but he gets away with his little burrow move. So you're going to see me sitting around mid a little bit towards a little bit later once they start capturing a little bit better and the enemy team starts holding 2 a lot more frequently. And I just kind of sit there and I soak the experience. I kill the minions for my seasoned marksman, and then I'll just kind of poke and try to keep them off until either my teammates get top or bottom. So I'm going to try and come up here for a gank. I sit in the bush and I wait, but I don't think I'm going to get anything, so I kind of like hover around. It looks like Tychus might come and commit into this fight with Jaina, thinking he's going to win. I'm not sure. Okay, so the level 7 upgrade. I always go with follow-through on Zeratul because I feel like it's the most beneficial out of all of your choices. Dealing more damage while you're cloaked, 30% damage. Well, this is 40% damage after each ability, so I would rather, you know, initiate the fight with a Q, get an auto attack, throw a W, get an auto attack, and if I can initiate and chase them safely, I will go for the E and get that extra damage boost again. So that's, you know, 40, 80, 120% damage boost over 3 auto attacks. And my damage right now being, I don't know if it'll actually show. No, it doesn't look like it'll show my damage. But right now it's probably around 140. So 40% of that is about 55 damage or so. So 55 plus 55 plus 55. I'm almost doing 200 more damage over the course of a fight, which is pretty beneficial. None of the other abilities seem that great. First aid, I know a lot of people get first aid because they feel they need it, and if that's what you like to do, go for it. I personally feel like you shouldn't need first aid because you shouldn't be in a fight long enough to need it. You should be in and out of a fight, and you should be rotating in and out, and I'm going to show you what that looks like a little bit later game. Searing attacks, I feel like Zeratul already has enough mana issues, so getting an ability that's going to just drain it more is not very beneficial. I used to get this when the double bombs at level 16 did full damage on both bombs, but since they nerfed it and now the second one does 50% damage, I don't get this anymore because it's not as beneficial to just throw 2 bombs while you're stealth, because it doesn't do as much damage. But I used to lead with that, and I would stay stealth, throw 2 bombs, and then wait for it to be up again and then initiate a fight. But it's not as helpful anymore. And plus, when you get into the higher ranks, people are better at seeing you when you're running around stealth. So it's kind of hard to do that strategy anymore. It was better when I was in the lower ranks in the 30s and 20s, but this is rank 11, so people are getting a little bit better. So you can't just run into lane and freely walk around waiting for your opportunity. I try to sit in the bush, wait for my opportunity, wait for them to overextend, and then sneak behind them. Let me get this playing again. I apologize if I'm talking a lot, but I'm going to try and explain as much as I can. I saw that Jaina was coming up, so let me just explain what happened here real quick, because I missed that and I'm sorry. I saw Jaina was coming up because she walked away from Tychus and she was going to try and capture the node, thinking that they could push 2-on-2 against Brightwing and Tyrael. So as soon as I saw her, and I predicted that she was coming up here, I didn't really have vision, but I kind of had a good idea that's what she was going to do. I immediately started pinging up there to defend it, to go up there, and then I went up, rotated, and we just caught her in a bad place and picked her off really well. Oh, and another thing that I noticed a lot of Zeratul players don't do this. Anytime you're stealth, try to be on your mount, because it just helps so much with having to save your blink to initiate, because if you have to use your blink to initiate, you're going to put yourself in a bad position when you're trying to exit a fight if you have to. As you see, a lot of the time you're going to see me with my blink up at the very end of a fight. I tried to save Kael'thas here, but I don't, but at least we do get both of these kills. Nazeebo's over here, and I see him struggling a little bit, but I know he's safe enough because Brightwing's here to heal him, and Jaina's not going to walk into a 3v1, and if she does, that's just beneficial for us. But yes, always try to be mounted up, while you're stealth, because it's just such a huge advantage to be able to. I mean, I understand that the character model is going to be larger and more visible while you're on your mount, so it'll be easier for the enemy to see you while you're on it, but it just makes the initiation easier because you're moving about 40 to 50% faster than you would without it. So it just makes the initiations a hell of a lot easier. Like right here, I chase, and I had my blink up. I didn't have to blink into the fight. They didn't catch me as quickly, and I tried to have Tyrael help me do this right here, but he didn't. I dodged that burrow knockup, but he didn't want to engage. I don't know why. He had pretty high mana and health, but maybe he thought we couldn't win it, so he kind of backs off. And I don't know what he's doing over here, thinking he's going to 2v1. Maybe Kael'thas can help him get a kill. I don't think so. This Kael'thas I found towards the later game was not that good. We did hit level 10 first. I did want to try and force some fights and get some initiations here, but nobody dies there. I didn't think they would. Because we had the level 10 advantage and having that extra ultimate ability or heroic ability, whatever you want to call it in this game. I'm an ex-elite player, so I still refer to it as an ultimate. Is very helpful in these fights. And I see Jaina's kind of hanging around by herself in mid lane with like less than half HP, so I'm going to try and swoop around and force her to, and I try to make sure I ping a lot. Yeah, I know it's kind of annoying, but I try to make sure my team knows what I'm doing. And I do pick her off behind turret and then just get out really easily there. I noticed that they have both towers, so here's where I start kind of sitting around mid, not moving a lot because it's easier to be seen when you're moving. So if you just kind of sit in one place, it's harder to be seen. And I'm looking around and I'm seeing what can I do by myself? How can I help the team? And I'm looking and I'm saying, well, I can't really do anything bottom. I can't do anything top. I do help Nazeebo get away from this fight here against Tychus. And I'm still trying to like hang around mid, make sure nobody grabs this dragon while they have both shrines. And I see Jaina here, and I try my damnedest to save Nazeebo by void prisoning the element, but I did not do it quick enough. So you know, I know we lost bottom. It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make sure that they don't get the dragon, because that's going to do more damage than these bruiser minions are going to do. I mean, Gazlo can push pretty hard, but I saw that he had already backed off, so I knew he wasn't going to push anymore. I see Tychus here being aggressive towards this shrine, so I try and stop him, and I see that I'm doing a pretty decent amount of damage. I do blink, and he does get away here, but the goal is I kept him off the shrine before he was able to capture it, and then my team captured the top shrine, or at least neutralized it until I could grab my fountain and kind of hold them off some more. She kind of sees me, but didn't really notice where I was standing, so she missed that. Brighton comes to help me mid, and we get that kill pretty easily. I kind of try and float around here, but I realize that the shrines are not captured, so I don't have to hang too close and overextend and possibly get myself killed. Tyrael is down here with Nazeebo, putting a decent amount of pressure, and Kael'thas died top due to lack of map awareness, which happens a little bit in this game. But I'm still mid, just hanging around, getting minions and stacking up my seasoned marksman. I will try to get 2 damage per minute that I'm in the game, but it doesn't always work that way. It just depends on the game and the map. Certain maps I just won't get seasoned marksman on, like temples or haunted mines. There's just not enough minion wave clearing for it to be worth it. So here I know I'm going to get the kill, so I just blink in real quick and escape. And I know I have my void prison up, so I don't even bother to hesitate to initiate a fight with my blink. If I have void prison up, I'll be a little more aggressive towards the enemy team with blink. But if it's on cooldown, I'll be a little more cautious, play a little bit safer, because I don't want to put myself in a position I don't think I'll be able to get away from. So here comes Gazlo. This is why I'm sitting mid, staying very still, making sure that nobody notices me. Throw my bomb. I back off because I know he's going to throw that down, and then I just wait to re-stealth. Because you don't want to just chase a lot of the time, especially at level 13. I get Assassin's Blade, which when you come out of stealth, 25% increased damage, and while I'm stealth, I get 10% movement speed. So if you in and out a lot of the time in these fights, you're going to get the 25% damage boost every time you come out of stealth, and focused attack is only on a 10-second cooldown, with 1 second being reduced every time I auto attack. So really, I probably land about 3 or 4 auto attacks before I try to re-stealth. So I'll get about, it's really like a 5-second cooldown. It's probably halved, I would say, is my best guess. So, 50% damage from that, 40% damage plus from that, and then another 25 from that gives me a big damage boost. I've seen, auto attacks right out of stealth late game as high as 600 or 700 with Zeratul. I go very aggressive. The only defensive one that I get is probably Void Prison. Everything else I stay very offensive, double bombs, and rewind to, get those cooldowns back up really quickly. And I pick off Gazlo here pretty easily. His turrets are shooting at me, so I kind of go the other way, and I clear these minions again to try and keep my seasoned marksman up. Right now I'm 13-0 with 17k damage. I'm second place in terms of hero damage, and first place with HP contribution. So as soon as I saw Jaina's ring, I just immediately backed off, because you don't want to get hit by 2 of her frost abilities. They're just going to deal way too much damage. She does a lot of damage, and you don't want to get picked off by that. I try to get Uther here, but I realized that they have both shrines, so I didn't want them to kind of back-cap us. And then when I realized Tyrael got the bottom shrine, I kind of was like, oh, I should have been paying a little more attention to the map. Maybe could have initiated on that fight and killed him. But I try to get Tychus here, but as soon as I see Jaina, I back off, and my mana's low, so I didn't try to initiate. And it's a good thing, because Uther was there, and I did know that he was probably still close, because I assumed he didn't base. He wasn't low enough to base. He probably just grabbed the fountain, which he did. And I go back to base to get some mana back. Brightwing's kind of poking at Nubarak here. And we're just going back and forth in this game a lot. I mean, we do have way more kills than them, but the team coordination, it was not entirely there the whole game. We weren't really getting camps as much as we should have been. Nazeebo should have been soloing camps definitely a lot of the time. This is the double bomb level up, so I'm going to grab that. But he should have been grabbing camps a little more frequently, and I did not direct him to do so, so that's partly my fault. I try to direct the team if I see that they're not doing what they should be doing, or what I think they should be doing, because there's more than one way to win this game. There's so many different ways, and part of it is just doing what you think is right. And some people think that you should just go off on your own and do your own thing. Unlike League of Legends, this is not something you can solo carry. And if you can, it's very, very difficult to do so by yourself. So I would recommend, even if your team is making what you feel to be a bad decision, do it all together sometimes to do this. Because maybe it might turn out in your favor. Somebody on the enemy team might make a mistake, and you'll get lucky and pick somebody off. But if you split up, especially late game, and you work by yourself and you leave them to a 4v5 because they want to capture a boss or something, then you're definitely going to lose, because they're just going to go in 5v4, kill your team, and you're going to be solo grabbing bruisers or something, and then cooldown, resurrection timers late game make a huge problem. So try to stay with your team, try to stay grouped. I try to save Nazeebo here. I think I do. Not sure. Maybe not. I think Brightwing saves us, actually, come to think of it. Yeah, he comes in and kind of saves our life. Nazeebo might die here. Yeah, he does. But I try to get Jaina, but Uther's heals hopefully is fun. So. And I die here, being a little too aggressive. I should have just backed off after I saw Nazeebo died, because I had a feeling we weren't going to kill them. But here's where I start to get a little annoyed, because as you can see, we have still we had a kill lead, and now we're starting to fall behind, 18 to 12. So I was like, what happened here? Like, we were dominating them the whole game, and now... And then I look at the scoreboard, and Kael'thas has 6 deaths, and Azebo has 4, so they weren't really performing at their peaks. But it's okay. We're still in the game. It's not over yet. It's just a... And Brightwing knows what's going on. He knows that we have poor communication, so... they get the first dragon 13.5 minutes into the game. One of the reasons why I despise this map with a passion is because of this cat and mouse mechanic of holding both shrines and being in mid at all at the same time, and it's just so obnoxious. Especially early game when there's such low resurrection timers and you think you might be able to get it. And you see me being a little bit toxic right here, saying that Kael'thas is a defeater, and Tyrael saying that Anubarak is broken and we're going to lose. But I get Kael'thas right here. I immediately void prison Uther and see if I can get anything else, but the dragon's kind of in a place where it's going to screw me, so I kind of back off and I try and reinitiate. I don't just stay in the fight and just chase somebody down. I save my blink, I get out of combat, re-stealth, and I try to come back in and see if I can get somebody. I see Gazlo over here with less than half HP. I go in on him, and I try to kill Uther here, which I think I do. But I think I died to the dragon here. He knocks me into the turrets down here. But I got 2 kills. On top of... I got the first kill over here by Anubarak, and then I got 2 more kills after that. So it's very good to try and stay in and out with Zeratul. You don't want to just, oh, I'm in and I'm in, and that's it. And then you just kind of commit to you being in the fight. You have Blink for a reason, and some people like to get Wormhole so that you can be aggressive with Blink and blink in and then blink back to your Wormhole. But I like the Assassin's Blade a little bit better for the damage, for the extra aggression, and for that move speed when you're stealth. Because sometimes, you know, you're in a long chase and you're hoping that this person doesn't catch up to you, and that 10% movement speed makes that extra bit of a difference when you're trying to juke abilities when you're stealth, or just keep that distance. So I try to tell Kael'thas to stop being in the front of the team fights, because he was kind of all the way over here by this turret when Tyrael was back here, and we weren't in a position to dive really, because, you know, probably about 1/3 of our damage is dead, which was me. So I was like, you need to stay back, stop being front line. And I was telling Tyrael that, for future reference, if we don't have 2 tanks, and this is just my personal opinion, you should always get the Initiate ultimate and not the Sanctification. As much as I like Sanctification, I only get that when I have another tank on my team who has a good Initiate, like Anubarak. But if I'm solo tanking as Tyrael, it doesn't really pay to get Sanctification when you're solo tanking. I've done it before if I really feel my team could use it. It really just depends on the situation. I'm sitting here because I have a feeling I don't see anybody on the map, and I know someone's going to go for Brightwing by themselves. Jaina comes up, I jump on her, and we disengage from the fight. I'm like, just go. We're leaving this fight now. So I have my Void Prison up, so I'm kind of seeing if there's an opportunity to use it. It looks like I'm going to try and kill Uther, because I want him out of the fight. His healing is very strong. So I get caught by the grenade because I wasn't really paying attention. But we do get Uther, and I back out again. I'm not staying in the fight, I'm backing out, and I'm going to loop around over the Bruiser camp and around. And I'm going to see if I can pick somebody off again. I know there's only 3 people up because we killed 2 of them already. So I'm just sitting and waiting for an opportunity. And I'm looking at Gazlo, and I'm looking at, you know, and I see Tyrael go in, so I was like, the turrets are going to be focused on him. I'm going to try and kill Gazlo real quick. We get that kill. And I Void Prison Tychus, and I'm like, let's get out of here. I need to back off. Brightwing, again, comes to save the day, keeping Anubarak from initiating on us. And that was a good team coordination there. Tyrael did see that I wanted to engage on Gazlo, so he went in and took his turret aggro for me, so we can get him down really quick.
I said something.
So I'm looking around the map. We have the bottom shrine. I see Kael'thas is top, probably about to die against Tychus and Anubarak. So I come up and I see Tychus and I try to get him. I don't know if I do. Oh, I hit my reset roll my W's, and I get him with the bombs from the distance. And I back here so I can get the mana. I know my team is going to be able to safely get that dragon because, you know, 2/5 of their team is dead. So it's a 4v3 without me being in the fight. Well, 3v3 actually, because Kael'thas is dead. I don't know where he died, but he died. They back off, zone them from the dragon, and we get it. So I'm on my way back into lane. With this lead, we have a nice lead right now, even though my team has less kills, or more kills. I think this is backwards, actually. Looking at my takedowns, this looks like it's backwards. My team is not the enemy team. That was why I looked before and I was like, I don't remember ever being behind in kills, but it looks like the replay has it backwards, and sometimes the replays do that. But so I'm just sitting back here, not frontline with my team. There's no reason for me to be, because I'm going to die very easily. So I'm going to sit back on my mount, waiting for that initiation time, kind of seeing if there's someone I can pick off. There's nothing I can do if I just sit frontline. So I go in and I try to see if I can get Jaina. I missed my second bomb, and as soon as I missed it, I just blinked out of it. I wasn't going to try and chase her down for it, but I do re-stealth, and I'm looking around, trying to see if I can pick someone off. I see Tychus, and he gets me out of stealth with a minigun, probably by mistake, but I get some damage onto him really quickly, kind of get him to back off and blow his first aid really quick. I throw the Void Prison because it looks like Nasibo may die if they follow up with that. And I go on to Uther and try and get him, and like a noob, I miss both my bombs because I'm bad. And because I kind of panicked a little bit. Jaina hits me there. Just kind of stay on the back lines unless I think I can get somebody, and I try to always loop around. Here I try and catch Tychus, but he had the Stone Skin upgrade, so I was like, never mind, back off there. And I tell my team, actually I think Brightwing's the only one that pings us back. Yeah, Brightwing just pings us back and says, let's get out of here. And I stick around, I try to see if I can get a kill, and I want to just get Jaina, because getting her off the map is going to be really important. Even if I'm dead for it, I figured it was worth, because now my team can do things a little more safely. If we have to do a 5v5 engage with Jaina up, I feel like we might get picked off. So I was like, let me just sacrifice, try and get Jaina, which I did, and we'll both be up around the same time. So they get the bruisers really easily. They got that earlier, and looks like they're gonna get this one and the other one. See, now when you're in control of the game, what you want to do is try and stay on top of the mercenary camps, because you want to take away all their options of coming back. You don't want to leave mercenary camps available to grab. You don't want to, you know, leave other kinds of objectives like seeds down or skulls or temples available. Even if you're in the lead and you think you could just push and win, don't take the risk. Just get the bruisers, get the siege minions. If you can get the boss, but never try to initiate it when their whole entire team is up, because 9 times out of 10 they're just going to engage on you, and unless you have so much of a lead that you can just 5v5 them while fighting the boss and kill them and get the boss, stay back and try to get at least 2 people down before initiating on the boss. Looks like they might get caught out here. I don't know. Nazebo's probably going to die. But I had top lane and I tried to see if I can pick somebody off. Clear these minions out first. Keep my scenes markment up. And right now I have 35 damage in a 21-minute game, so I am a little under 2 damage per minute, which is like my goal. But as Zeratul, I feel like that's not bad if I was on somebody like Thrall. So I stay in back, pick off Jaina, and then I blink over the wall and I go stealth, go for Caslow, and then I back off again, wait for that stealth, wait to initiate. Nubarok's thing is too short, I know that, so he hits me, so I back off, and I'm waiting to see who we have. We have Kael'thas, we have Brightwing. I wait for him to throw that, and I'm like, okay, we can blow up Tychus now. He's gone. I hit my reset as soon as I'm done stun. I throw my bomb, throw my Q, and I blink out. Wait for Kael'thas to do all the follow-up damage, and just kill the rest of them. I don't know if we get this, because... Yes, maybe... I don't remember. Yes, we do get that. So, we got that kill. I capture the shrine, and we have the bottom one. They're telling Tyrael to get it, but he's already too far pushed in, so one of us just gets it. That was top lane. I push in. I still have pretty high mana, so I didn't bother basing. And after we get the dragon, I was like, let's just win. This is it. This is over. It's 31-16. We have more than enough of an advantage. Their base is done for. And that was pretty much this game. I hope you guys learned something. If you don't agree with my Zeratul style, you're more than welcome to. It works for me most of the time. I have a pretty high win rate with Zeratul. I think I'm like 75 and 39 or something like that with him. Or, sorry, 45 and 29. Big difference. I don't know what I was thinking. So, but I have a pretty solid win rate with him. Probably about 65% if I had to do the numbers in my head really quick. But that was that game. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys learned something. And I'll catch you guys next time.